Find functional hilarity at the Biffa Emporium. Girl, it's what I heard. Allegedly. It's just the word. Allegedly. It's on the street. Allegedly. I sing to the beat. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly. Sissy Daniels was on The Breakfast Club. Oh yeah, we're going to review this interview. Oh, okay, the interview opens with us being introduced to his protege. Okay, so he was looking for a writer. You was looking for some new books because Jesse wasn't giving it up anymore after he found them Osundario brothers. But he got a third show coming out that's going to be a comedy. After all, Empire is a tragedy and Star is confused as to what it wants to be in life. So I hope this third show's actually funny. He had to hire somebody that was out of the box. More like you hired somebody to get in their box, because your writer's cute. I'll give him that. He cute. Now, I will say he's speaking truth about how difficult it is to get into the system of writing. So he went into the streets to find somebody to shake it up with a new vision. Into the streets. Oh, God, he understood why he was a black man when he saw this play. You 50 and you just now getting it? Okay, well, you know what? I guess Jordan Woods is ahead of you, but let's continue on. He said he hadn't seen anything that moving since Dreamgirls. It fucked his soul up. Yeah, I'm glad I'm watching this for y'all, because y'all don't need to tune into the bullshit. So he grew up influenced by Tyler Perry and the bootleg DVDs of his shows. Okay, well, you could get something from that. Okay, the playwright is very interesting, very arty, but he really ain't talking about what Lee Daniels normally puts on, so this is interesting. And Lee Daniels is just looking at him. I'm getting a bussy tea. Let me go on and put this picture up. I'm getting a bussy tea and a daddy tea. Charlemagne opened the episode calling him his muse. Muse. Like Amber Rose was Kanye's muse. I know I am very amused at the muse. Cause he's like all over the place. You can tell he's passionate, but his points are here, there, and everywhere. Oh God, okay, now Lee's piping up again. He said he had drug money connections to get his first movie off the ground since everybody passed on it. I never heard this. And then he said, well, what do you think Empire is about? Oh, okay, all right. I could low-key see telling the truth in your writing or giving a bit of your own story in the writing, but girl, we ain't never heard none of this. Oh God, this interview is boring as hell. Get to the tea. Get to the fucking tea. Okay, Lee pipes up and says Empire didn't get the credit for this new era of black entertainment. Honey, you were riding the wave that Shonda Rhimes started. Shonda was the first woman to get black women on network TV with Scandal, and followed up by the success of How to Get Away with Murder. You came along after those shows were already on the air, deals were already inked. Fox ran up behind ABC and said, oh, people will watch black people because they're entertaining and articulate too. So that's what that was. You were merely Fox trying to catch up. You didn't usher in this era. Scandal was on long before we thought of an Empire. And then there's Girlfriends, Everybody Hates Chris, The Wire. Black shows have been doing well long before you, and they'll do well long after. They are going on and on about this play that we don't have a clip of. They told us a little bit about it, but I'm like, we here to hear about Empire and your new show. Not a play that not everybody listening has access to go see, and you still haven't given us the damn dates. Okay, he got some points about queerness and blackness and existing in the same space, but The Breakfast Club is not the place for this intelligent conversation. Now, if y'all had been on The Read, that's when we really could have gone in and had proper time, but not on The Breakfast Club, honey. Charlemagne ain't the one. Go on and hit up Kid Fury and Crystal for this. We are 23 minutes in, and I have not gotten any new or discernible information other than promoting this damn play. which seems to be all over the place. Oh, God, Lee found this guy with $7 in his bank account and he didn't have a lawyer to represent him. He had to call somebody right quick. Like I said, a bussy tea. A bussy tea. Child, the show ain't even been picked up yet. They just doing the pilot, but Lee is very confident. Well, good luck. I mean, you can always put it on YouTube with me. I'll still review it. I mean, honestly, this isn't even Sissy Daniels' damn interview. It's mostly this young playwright who's interesting, kind of, but all over the place and so, like, young and full of passion, you just can't give a shit about somebody that bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I don't know, maybe I'm just old and bitter. Well, I'm not that old, but I'm definitely bitter. Definitely bitter. All right, so we're finally getting around to Sissy Smollett-Who, when they were talking about sketch comedy and who could have written the Sissy Smollett story. And Lee Daniels looks like a Cheshire cat and says, "Well, it wasn't me. Not I," said the fly, "not I." Girl, he looks so coy and so uncaught. So now Lee Daniels like, well, you know, I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge. So I was hurt when it first happened, but I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge. I'm not God. I don't have a gavel. I'm not a judge. He can only have compassion. Should have had some more compassion with the damn paychecks. You might not be in this mess. He said that they're in talks to figure out what's going on with Sissy Smollett-Who, but the show has been traumatized. It's traumatic. I don't say traumatized, say gooped. We've been gooped, bamboozled, hoodwinked, and played for fools. But Lee Daniels will stand by Sissy Smollett-Who regardless of the outcome. I mean, is you gonna help pay that restitution, though? That's what he really gonna need. Fuck somebody sidling up beside me when I need cash now, like J.G. Wentworth. They asked Lee, "Do you believe Sissy Smollett?" And he said, again, you know, I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge. No gavel here. Oh, God, my thoughts are inconsequential. It's like he's my son. Your son. He's like your son. I could see nephew. I could go on with nephew. Cousin. But not son, honey, not son. Not with that sorry-ass storyline, honey. Sonny boy, I don't see. Oh, my God. And they asked the playwright. They said, "Do you believe him?" And he said, "My name is Bennett." He said, "Bennett, sir, Bennett. Don't even come to me with the bullshit. Bennett. And so now we get into the 2 million he owes Dame, and he laughing about it. Yeah, I'm setting up a payment. Speaking of which, we've got a hot topic about that. According to The Blast, Dash is requesting for a judge to vacate subpoenas both his ex-wife and baby mama fired off to Lee Daniels. Rachel and Cindy are owed back child support and are trying to get their hands on the money Daniel owes Dash per a settlement. In newly filed court documents, Dash says the amounts both Roy and Morales are claiming to be owed are inaccurate. He says some of his business income was garnished and substantial additional monies paid by Dash on the support collection unit accounts were finally acknowledged by their office August 16, 2018. Dash seems to believe the two are owed hundreds of thousands less than they claim. He wants the judge to not allow them to touch a dime of the settlement. So now Daniel's gonna keep that money. Okay, Lee Daniels says he was out of pocket for not giving him any money, but he says contractually he didn't owe him shit. Okay, girl. Okay. He said it was the public humiliation that got him to pay. Aha! They said, "Lee, you got anybody else you want to patch shit up with?" And he said, "No." Next question. Ooh, honey, the pissed bottom came out. The pissed bottom came out. I can't believe it. Well, I guess now we know how he feels about Monique. And he said Monique ain't blackballed because she got a commercial and her Vegas gig coming up. Oh, God. This interview is just so painful and self-serving. And then he talking about bullied children. The Breakfast Club ain't the place for this. We come here for the ignorance. For the ignorance. You know what? We are 39 minutes in. It's a 43-minute interview. I'm tired of punishing myself, so we just gonna cut it here. At least we know what's going on with Empire. Nothing. I mean, that interview was pointless. Like, they talked about the new show, but they didn't give us enough specifics to where we could look forward to the shit. Now, in Wendy Williams news, Kevin Hunter has been cut off from Wendy's fortune. According to TMZ, she's totally cut Kevin Hunter off from her money and has hired a team to ensure all of her finances are secure. We're told she separated their funds and created new accounts, a process that began before she filed for divorce. Wendy's officially locked down her own place in Manhattan as well. She signed a new lease a few weeks ago and has already paid rent for the next year. As for business matters, we're told Wendy waffled. She kinda wanted to keep a professional relationship with Hunter, but ultimately cut all ties. She's currently looking for a new manager and executive producer. Okay, now we got some inside scoop information on Nene knocking out teeth. Let's talk about it. According to Radar Online, a show insider snitched exclusively revealing what happened inside Nene's closet. Nene didn't actually knock a producer's tooth out during the wild fight that began when Candy and Portia stormed Nene's closet. He chipped his tooth because he was rushing to get into the room and the closet to get Nene, which is when all the fighting started, and he tripped over equipment and fell. That sounds believable. That sounds plausible. That makes sense. I could see that. 'Cause I'm sorry, that shit would have been leaked. Ain't no way they wouldn't have used that. Okay, so Tierra playing along with 50 Cent. She on Instagram packing her shit in her empty-ass apartment. I mean, she acting like she got furniture. That girl ain't got no furniture. Oh, and this sad little Louis Vuitton she always lugging around. I guess that's when she had a little coin. That's the one thing she hasn't had to pawn yet. So she says that there isn't a warrant out for her arrest, and it's fake news. I don't know. 50 seems to like a legal fight, so I think his I's are dotted and his T's are crossed. And you the T girl, and you're about to get crossed. We still don't have any video footage or eyewitness confirmation of Brittany Taylor getting hit by Remy Ma. They're officially asking for witnesses to come forth. I don't know. I wouldn't testify against Remy Ma. I mean, if she out here whooping asses again, I'd leave that shit alone. Sometimes you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. And right now, you need to walk away with your lies. Because I just don't think Remy could care enough about you to hit you. You give a Nat T, sis. A Nat T. August Alsina is still whining about his breakup with Jada Smith. I wonder if she just doesn't have time for him anymore, if she's eating a new pussy, or if Jada's business is just so demanding she doesn't have time for her young boy toy. What do you think it is? Because I know she ain't fucking Will. He's too busy helping Dwayne Martin through his divorce. Martha Stewart had no clue who Chip and Joanna Gaines are. Neither do I. Neither do I. Only person I recognize is Martha Stewart, the felon. The felon. So Lori Loughlin and her husband with the cheap clothes is going to say they were ignorant of the scheme that was at hand. They thought, oh, you know, everybody pays $500,000 to get their child into college. I hope y'all get some new lawyers because that shit ain't going to fly. I love how rich people always want to play stupid when they do something wrong. Taylor Swift helped design her dress for the Time 100 Gala. Well. I mean, I'm looking at it, and one, you ain't helped design this shit because y'all both stole it from Bob Mackie. This is some Cher shit. Back in her variety show days, so let's start fucking there. Moving on, the design is uninspired. It does nothing for her beanpole figure, and the color clashes with her pasty and pallid skin. I mean, I've seen her almost look nice, but this is one of her worst looks. Flesh tone and yellow, the colors white people need to stay away from like the plague. That's what you gonna put her in. Ugh, yeah, no wonder she had a hand in this shit. It's tacky and mediocre, just like her. Just like her. Soldier Boy thinks the burglary of his LA home last week was an inside job. But Soldier, you've been in jail for a minute and everybody knows you're in jail. I don't think your house is that hard to find because they said the thieves used a door damage during a police raid to get access to the home and the $6,000 in rented jewelry. So I don't think it was an inside job. I think when your house gets raided, some of that shit is public record. So your address is already floating around out there. Check the shade room. They probably know your business. But you also seem like the type that can't discern a real friend from a fake one. So it could have been the people around you. After all, they've got to secure their bag too, because you seem stingy. Sorry and stingy. Denise Richards says it's hard co-parenting with Charlie Sheen because they'll agree on taking a kid's phone away and then he'll go buy the kid a phone behind their back. Charlie Sheen is a nutbag who's high half the time. I couldn't imagine co-parenting with that. Pete would be a better co-parent. And all Pete does is eat and lay there. I missed him though. Oh, Wendy has already found a new producer. Bernie Young has been hired by Wendy Williams. He was the coordinating producer and executive producer of The Rosie Show from 96 to 2002 and the co-executive producer of The Martha Show from 2005 to 2012. Well, good for Wendy. I'm glad she's getting her team together. And in crazy as cat shit news, Kevin Hunter has been accused of trying to poison Wendy Williams. According to Page 6, police stopped by Wendy Williams and Kelvin L. Hunter's Jersey home in January after receiving an anonymous tip from someone on Wendy's show staff claiming Hunter was poisoning his now estranged wife. The caller alleged Hunter, who was an executive producer on The Wendy Show at the time, was slipping something harmful to the talk show host and wanted authorities to check on her. The caller refused to give contact information. 2 officers from the Livingston Police Department stopped by the couple's former home and were greeted by Hunter, who was skeptical of allowing them inside because Williams was recovering from a health problem, according to the police report. The officers explained they were required to talk to Williams because of the tip, and Hunter ultimately acquiesced, and the 2 officers found Williams lying in bed with the blanket covering her from neck to toe. One of the officers requested Hunter leave the room so they could talk to Williams alone, but Hunter wouldn't budge, claiming he wanted to stay by his wife's side. Williams told the officers she was recovering from a broken shoulder and joked she's very popular if they asked if there was truth to the tipster's claim that her husband was poisoning her. When asked again, Williams became tearful but denied any wrongdoing by Hunter. Hunter then said to the officers that there had never been any calls to the house over domestic violence complaints, and the officers agreed. Well. Do I think that he was poisoning her in the traditional sense? Maybe. But I definitely think he was slipping her everything she could snort up and then some. So that's another way of poisoning somebody. So yeah, he was poisoning her. But she was an addict, so she couldn't say, he won't stop giving me drugs because you won't stop taking the drugs. All right, well, those were today's hot topics, but I'll see you soon for something.
Alleged what? Alleged who? Allegedly. Don't blame, don't sue. Allegedly.
So as my mugs say, tell a kin, tell a friend, tell that heifer you hate to head over to the Biffa Emporium for a cute collection of hoodies and mugs. Link below.